Hello Svenny McG, it's me, Svenny McG. Today I'm going to talk about Nintendo 64 games and the Nintendo Switch. So recently on the Nintendo Reddit page, they had an Ask Me Anything with Giles Goddard. Now Giles of course had worked on Super Mario 64, helped Miyamoto develop Star Fox, and of course was known for 1080 snowboarding. Now through his current company, Chuhai Labs, they're developing a VR snowboarding game. So I decided I would ask specifically, what's the chances of getting 1080 snowboarding on the Nintendo Switch? Now, very coy, Mr. Goddard replied, if Nintendo asks him to make a 1080 for Switch, he'd be happy to do it. And of course, why not? In fact, Nintendo Life liked my question so much, they wrote an article about it. Not that they gave me any credit. Joking aside, it was very gracious to have a response from Mr. Goddard, and I do thank him for it. But that being said, it got me thinking about the Nintendo 64 games on the Switch, currently on the Switch, and what's coming down the pipe. What can we expect to see? Let's take a look. Now, one thing I want to say very clearly, of course, this is just my own opinion, my own insight. We are not going to get Nintendo 64 for Switch Online. We're just not. And I'm going to make a case for that right now. As you're all aware, the Mario 3D All-Stars came out last year, celebrating Mario's 35th anniversary, and on it was Super Mario 64. They had ported it over. Recently, from Nintendo, we just got a remake of Pokemon Snap. Through Limited Run, we've seen other games come out, such as Turok 2, Turok 1, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. We've also seen a release of Doom 64, and later this year in 2021, we're going to get a copy of Shadow Man ported over to all consoles. So with 7 of the 296 Nintendo 64 games already receiving some form of a physical release or hitting the digital shop through another producer, what are the chances that Nintendo's going to go ahead and create all of this again? For Nintendo 64, they released the game for 1 year and then took it down. So what does that mean? Are they really going to now just release it? Or the fact that they've already sold us 2 of some of their heavy hitters, are they really going to bother to port these out on a Nintendo Switch Online? I just don't see it happening. Games like everyone's favorite GoldenEye 007, everyone's well aware that this has been locked up in licensing rights for years. We did get a Wii port of it, but we haven't really seen it in any other incarnation. There was talk about a rebuild a couple years ago, but again, you have to get licensing rights from the studios, from the music. Again, this was developed, of course, by Rare, which is owned by Microsoft. So how are we going to squeeze that out? Further, because of this tie-in with Rare, Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark, Conker's Bad Fur Day, all seen on the Xbox One Rare Replay series of games. For that reason, we probably won't ever get to see Rare's version of Diddy Kong Racing. Again, Microsoft and Nintendo have been playing nice together, but it's kind of unlikely that we're going to get to see this, especially from Rare's perspective, where they had a lot of Rare's characters on here. Maybe we can get some form of Diddy Kong Racing with Nintendo characters, but we have the Mario Kart, so I don't know that they're going to go ahead and rebank something specifically on Diddy. So that alone now moves us up to a dozen games, and further, when we look at things like NASCAR games, some motocross games, all sorts of your sports games here. Do we really want to see ports of these or get older incarnations of them coming forward? It's something different when you see something like Blades of Steel or Ice Hockey from the original NES, but again, are we really beating down the door for Wayne Gretzky 3D Hockey or Triple Play 2000? Then further, again, you get into your licensing issues like GoldenEye with things like Hercules, possibly Toy Story. Star Wars, I can't really point to this one because, hey, we have certainly received, like I said, already Pod Racers, and Limited Run has been bringing forward a lot of the back catalog there. So, Star Wars, perhaps. Maybe we will see more of this. But other licensing deals have to be made in order to get them. And again, in order to see this, specifically Battle of Naboo, show up on the Nintendo Switch Online for the Nintendo 64, it's just not going to happen. So more likely what we should expect to see are other first-party titles coming out. Clearly these 2 are the ones that need to be redone. Now, they did get releases for the 3DS. Both of these were made by Grezzo, and of course earlier on the Nintendo Switch we saw The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening ported over to the Nintendo Switch by Grezzo. So for them to go ahead and port this, it shouldn't be too much of a shocker to see these two titles come to the Nintendo Switch later. What I would like to see, especially this year being The Legend of Zelda 35th, would be at least to see these two titles on one cartridge the way they did for the Mario 3D All-Stars. Going with the Star Wars theme, I'd like to see Shadows of the Empire. This was one of the first times I really got to see and feel and play as the fighter going around the AT-AT and roping it in. I thought that was fantastic. So it'd be great to see this edition get ported over. As mentioned, 1080 snowboarding. Perhaps it wouldn't be too much to see this get ported, or perhaps a remaster or remake. It doesn't sound, according to Mr. Goddard right now, that that's in play, but hey, who knows? Again, maybe he's just being a little cheeky. Lots of Pokemon action going on in the last couple years, especially on the Nintendo Switch, so I think it'd be pretty neat to see some of the Stadium games come over, or more than likely, a complete remake, but perhaps bringing in some of your Pokemon characters, perhaps even coupled in with Pokemon Go. Your 64 titles, Star Fox 64, Donkey Kong 64, and even Pilot Wing 64. It wouldn't be too surprising to see any of these come over to the Nintendo 64. What I think is missing on Nintendo's consoles now is seeing some more Mario Party action. Super Mario Party is a fantastic game on the current Nintendo Switch, but what we really need is some collectors, some collections of these. Get them out there, Nintendo. Come on. It's easy to grab them, pull all the games over, it's all your parties, all your mini games. We've seen the 100 bests, but we still haven't seen a collector's edition. We should get those out there. Do it like the Mega Man Legacies. You can make a couple bundles of 1 to 5 and 6 to 10. Same with the Mario Kart series. Now again, we have the first one on the Nintendo Switch Online for the Super Nintendo, but seeing 64, seeing Double Dash, seeing the Wii edition, get those out there. Again, that's a perfect cart right there. 64, GameCube, and Wii. Get the Mario Kart edition onto a cartridge because we already have the Wii U's 8 Deluxe now on the Switch. Who got that in here? Smash Brothers. Of course, again, it's another one that perhaps, this one's got a little rose-colored glasses to it, but seeing the game here, again, let's give us the Smash, give us Melee, and give us the Wii version on a single cart. Make it happen. Anyways, friends, again, take it all with a grain of salt. That's just my... Hey, who let you in here? Can we get that guy out of here, please? Again, those are just my opinions, but I just do not see a way that they're going to bring over the Nintendo 64, any of its library, over to the Nintendo Switch Online. Doesn't mean we can't see Game Boy. Doesn't mean we won't see some ports. I put out my favorites. What's missing? What would you like to see come out there? I've had a lot of other funs with games like Tetris Magical Challenge, featuring the Disney characters. I know there's a lot of WWE fans clamoring for games like No Mercy or Revenge. I loved the Spider-Man game, though to be honest, I don't really want to see the Nintendo 64 version. I prefer to see the PlayStation version that actually had the cinematics. And even with rose-colored glasses, I would like to see the Batman Beyond game be ported over to the Nintendo Switch because I did think it was a lot of fun to play. So please let me know what your favorites are, what's missing, what you think, and am I completely wrong? Do you foresee the Nintendo 64 library coming over to the Nintendo Switch? Please let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing as it always helps grow my channel. Until I see you all next time, I hope you take care and be good to each other. Bye now.